TKO Radio have their own performers to perform for Atlanta Hip Hop Day. I think this year makes, what year they on, like 14 or 15? Yeah, like 14, 15 years doing this. So it's growing, it's getting bigger and bigger. It's always a couple of thousand people that's out there. We trying to, you know what I'm saying, watch this thing grow to 10,000 people and more and become just as big as One Music Fest and all the other festivals that's out there. So shout out to Atlanta Hip Hop. You know, they will be entertaining. I think that's in September, correct? That will be going down September, around the first week in September. Again, if you want to perform, please get at me in my DM or hit anybody that's with 101 TKO Radio or hit us in our DM on our page. Also, the game is going on tonight. New York Knicks and San Antonio Spurs. Now, Nelson, it's been wild. New York got really upset last week, and they started trying to start fights and jumping on people and chasing people, and it was the stuff that I seen on IG, which is really, really crazy. And they ain't try that with us when we were playing them, but they know better. But it was a lot of mess going on with that New York Knicks and San Antonio Spurs game. A lot of people felt that the president brought them bad luck because he came to the game. They say he had no reason being there. He stopped a lot of money from being made and caused a lot of confusion in traffic because they got to make room and make space for the president or whatever. But hey, what game we on? 4? The game 4 is tonight. Nelson, who you with? That's right, San Antonio. I'm glad my DJ is not here because I think he is with the New York Knicks, and he know we don't tolerate that. We do not need New York to win. If y'all from New York, if anybody from New York out here in the audience, oh my God, no disrespect, but we do not need y'all to get a championship. We do not need y'all to get a championship. But anyway, like I said, we got a great show for y'all today, and I got my guest, which I am happy to have in the building. I am Barabbas, and we're going to be getting into this interview in about 3 minutes. But before we get into this interview, I do want to shout out my sponsors, Jackson Black Card. If y'all do not have one of these cards, y'all need to get with me at the end of the show so you can see how you could get one of these cards. Also, if y'all want to, y'all can also follow him at Jackson Black Card. This is a premium instant networking, seamless digital access. Like with this card thing you got to do, and you ain't got to keep buying different cards over and over. You could, if you take care of this and keep up with it, it can stick with you for a lifetime. And it has all your information. back. We are back. Yes. We are back. 101 TKO Radio. This your boy Johnnie Cabbell in the building. And I got my special guest in the building with us. I am Barabbas. How are you doing?
Man, I'm feeling blessed and highly favored. Thank you for having me.
Okay. Well, glad to have you on the show.
Today?
Huh?
How you doing today?
Man, I'm doing great. Just glad to be here and glad to be having this interview because, I'm ready to just dive straight into it.
Let's do it.
For the people that do not know who you are, tell them your name and how did you come up with the name I Am Barabbas and what's the definition behind that?
Well, I am Barabbas. By the grace of God, I wasn't the one who came up with the name. God came up with the name.
Okay.
And he dropped that on me early 2024. And it was around a time when he had me in a season of my life where I was just seeking him, seeking God. And while I was reading the Bible, I was I want to say it was in Matthew. It was either Matthew or John. And towards the end of the four Gospels is when Jesus is about to get persecuted, about to get crucified. But the cross he was getting put on, that cross already belonged to someone. It belonged to a guy named Barabbas. And when I was reading it, I just heard the Spirit of God just say, I am Barabbas. Like those three words. He didn't say you are Barabbas. I just heard I am Barabbas. And I don't know, I felt pulled to it. Like I gravitated to it, like to the point where I felt like he was just giving me a new name, because everything I done been through, everything that I went through in life, like I was guilty. Just like Barabbas was guilty. He was supposed to be on that cross, but they set him free so they can crucify Jesus. So I felt like I was him. Like I was supposed to be guilty. I was supposed to be in a position to where I wasn't even supposed to be home, but I'm free. So I felt like Barabbas, So in that moment, I felt like God was just giving me a new name. So I rocked out with that name for a minute. And that was just more of a me and God thing, like just my relationship with God, like I'm Barabbas to him. But
So let's back it up and talk about what brought you to that connection. Because I know probably like in the beginning, you probably weren't on that path in your earlier years
not at all.
in your life. So break down to us how it was for you growing up and some of the things you experienced and went through and what was that turning point that brought you to where you at now on your journey? Like, tell us about that.
So what led to that turning point was just, man, or at a young age, around the time that I was gonna say around the time that I stopped going to school, but even before that, like it was just slowly leading up. Not knowing that my decisions in life that I was gonna have to face it one day. That at one point it was gonna come back to me. Whatever I was putting out there was gonna come back to me. So I'm slowly going up a bad hill, and it got to the point when I was 17, I ended up getting locked up for armed robbery and aggravated assault, and it sat me down for a minute. And when I was during that time, while I was just trying to get a bond, trying to come home, trying to fight this case, man, started hearing the voice of God. And but in that moment, I didn't honestly know who he was, but I heard a voice tell me that I was coming home. But I didn't know what that was gonna look like. I didn't know when that was gonna come. I was so immature in that phase. When I heard it, I was like, okay, I'm finna go home next court date.
What was getting you through them hard times while you was locked up? Like because I think you was locked up about 4 or 5 years?
About 4 years, like 3 years and 9 months.
So during that time, what got you through them long days, them long nights? And was it ever a time you felt like, man, is it really going to be a time where I'm going to be free again? Did you ever feel like at one point that you was not going to get out or anything?
I wouldn't say I didn't feel like I wasn't gonna get out. I just thought it wasn't gonna look how I thought it was gonna look. Because like when I heard that voice, like I said, I didn't have no relationship with God in that moment, but I believe what I heard. That's how real it felt. That's how loud and clear that voice was. So I knew I was coming home, but when it got to the point when the bond got denied 4 times, court dates getting pushed back, going a whole year without going to court, I was like, all right, maybe I'm coming home, but I still gotta sit down for a little minute. And but what really kept me through that, surprisingly, I can honestly say that spending majority of my time in the hole is probably what kept me for real.
So you was a little knucklehead in there.
Yeah, it didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people think like when you get locked up, that's when you come to your senses. But I ain't come to my senses till after I came home for real. And even in there, I still had a lot of maturing to do mentally, you know. But when I was in that hole, that's when God would speak to me, you know. So yeah.
So before you even got locked up and you went through what you went through, what were some of the things that you were struggling with or you felt like that was missing in your life that wasn't there that put you in a position that was doing some of the things that you know you shouldn't been doing, but what you felt like was missing or that you wasn't receiving that even gave you the attention to even be thinking crazy and doing outlandish stuff and just participating in things that, you know, not normal kids would do at that age. Like what you felt like was missing in your life.
I felt like to go back in the earlier stage of your question, I didn't even know like we all got conscious of what's good and bad, what's right and wrong, but I honestly didn't even know like this not what I'm supposed to be doing. Cause the only thing that led me growing up was the culture around me. So I can have a person that was like guiding me like, hey, this is the way you should go. This is how you should be, like really just showing me the path to take.
So do you feel like you were missing that part? Because you grew up with your father and mother, right? So do you feel like you was missing a part of that guidance coming from your parents or whatever that, you know what I'm saying, that was telling you, okay, you need to be doing this or you need to be doing that? Do you feel like that wasn't there or?
I felt like it just wasn't stable. That made sense. Cause by God's grace, I grew up